All right, welcome to the Eric J. the Great podcast show. Got a special guest on the show today, um, um, author Marva Riley. How you doing?
I am doing well, Eric. Thank you for having me on your amazing show.
Absolutely. For anybody that don't know who this is, that haven't watched any of my content, I interviewed her a while back, and she's an author. She's put out plenty of books, and she just recently dropped another book called "Lose Weight and Keep It Off for Good." So I'm gonna let her go in detail about what inspired the book, how it came about, and how this book could be beneficial for anybody that's trying to lose weight or thinking about going on that journey or currently is on the journey but might need a little motivation or tips to speed up the process or enhance the process that you're already in. So but me personally, I think any book that's directed towards a certain goal or a certain topic, feel like it's always good because especially in this situation, because everybody gonna encounter this. Like whether you're trying to gain weight or lose weight, even if you're trying to gain weight, at some point you're gonna want to get some weight off of you. Like so, everybody got to lose weight at some point in their life. So, so, so first off, kind of explain, how the book came about, like as far as like, you just sitting around, you just like, oh, I'm gonna write this book on this, you know what I'm saying? Or did someone else put a little bug in your ear and say, hey, you should do a book on this? Or.
Yeah. Well, for those of your listeners who don't know me or didn't listen to your previous interview of me, my name is Marva Riley. I have been a registered nurse for over 24 years. Most of the time I worked in critical care or ICU where the sickest patients were. I'm also a holistic health advocate, and I have authored 3 books. The first book is called Eat, Sleep, Meditate, A Nurse's Guide to Health. And that book I wrote because I experienced life-threatening health issues at the age of 38. I was diagnosed with a life-threatening heart disease called cardiomyopathy. I had depression and anxiety and trouble sleeping, H. pylori, gastric reflux, irritable bowel syndrome, and I developed severe allergies to everything that I would eat and drop from a size 8 to a 0. I was very sick. I thought I was going to die. The doctors told me that if I didn't get a heart transplant, I would probably die. Long and short of it is that the doctor did a procedure on my heart because the electrical activity of my heart wasn't working well. So he did a procedure and he told me when I went back for my visit, you must clean up your diet. You need to start eating healthy. You need to exercise. You need to decrease your stress level. You need to get off coffee and just learn to relax and not stress so much. So because I was desperate to feel well, because I was a young woman, I was 38, had 2 little kids to live for and my husband. I was desperate to feel well. So I followed the doctor's orders and I started incorporating healthy eating, some exercise and all of that. It took a couple of years for me to transition to eating as clean as I do right now. But I was desperate to live. And that's why I wrote that book to show others that no matter how sick you are, if you're willing to do the work to heal yourself, you can. That was my first book. The second book, I call it SHARE. It's an acronym for Simple, Healthy, Easy, and Inexpensive Recipes. And I have over 100 healthy, mainly plant-based recipes in that book. And that's because a lot of people, I used to post my recipes on social media, and the folks would say, how do you cook that? It looks so good and all of that kind of stuff. So I put all them recipes. My husband said, put all them recipes in a book. And I did that. And that's how that came about. This book, which I call Lose weight and keep it off for good, understanding the weight loss game, came about because a lot of people are having health issues that are related to overweight and obesity. And a lot of people want to know how to lose the weight and keep it off for good, but they really don't know how. And they've tried the yo-yo diet, they've tried the pills, they've tried the shakes, they've starved themselves, they sign up for gym and fitness program at the beginning of the year, and come March, April, the gym is back to the diehard gym fans and everybody else falls off the bandwagon, as it were. And that's why I wrote this book, to show folks that losing the weight and keeping it off for good is really not difficult. I'm not saying it's easy, but if you could understand how it works, you can do it. And that's what this book is about. I want to share 12 simple steps that I've been using for well over 10 years to lose the weight and to keep it off, because I'm 60 years old and I'm in the best health I've ever been. I'm the fittest I've ever been. I'm at my ideal weight and has been for a long time. So I think I know how to do it, and I want to share with others how to do it.
Okay. And you say you was going to list those 12 steps, right?
Yeah, they're all in this book. I tell you, the first one is right mindset. I'll read it. Right mindset. You got to believe that it's possible for you to lose the weight and keep it off for good. Your mindset dictates your actions. The thing is that you got to know why you want to lose the weight. It could be that you've been diagnosed with high blood pressure, you have diabetes, you have joint pain, you have arthritis, you have gastric reflux, you have H. pylori. It could be that you're being plagued with these health issues and you're tired of those health issues and you want to get off the pills and you want to look good and you want to look good in your clothes and stuff like that. So those are your whys. My why when I was 38 is that I wanted to be healthy for my children and for my family. My why now is that I'm 60 years old. This is when a lot of people start having major health issues, and I don't want them. I don't want to be on blood pressure pills. I don't want to be on diabetes pills. I don't want to have kidney disease and liver disease. And I don't want to be able to, I want to be able to do squats if I need to, or to dance, get down on it if I want to at 60. You know what I mean? So my whys are a little different right now. But you've got to know your why, and you've got to be willing to do whatever is necessary to reverse those health issues, to get off those pills, to prevent the health issues, and to look your best, even though you might be 40 or 30s or 50 or 60 or 70. You can look good, you can feel good, you can have energy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Yeah.
one thing I was thinking about too with the weight loss thing, I think you see it on social media. It's popular where people in general, males and females, but especially females, are getting surgeries and things like that to prevent going to the gym and working out and things like that. And me and my friends be having conversations all the time. I was like, yeah, and I'm not against people getting surgeries and things like that. If it's what you want to do, that's your body, but you still can't get around, maintaining it. That's what a lot of people don't think about after you heal up and do all those massages and things like that. So,
That's correct.
what's your opinion on those type of situations, like people that choose to go that route, but then again they don't maintain it, so their body end up going back slowly to what it was before, and then they have to keep getting these procedures done over and over again to get back how they want to look. So,
Absolutely. And you know what? I am well equipped to answer that question, Eric, because I worked in the bariatric suite in a hospital in Florida for the first couple of years of my nursing experience and the last couple of years when I was in the hospital, working in the hospital. These are folks that weighed 400, 500, 600. We even had 700-pound patients. They would come in, and by the time they got to that point, they had the heart problem, they had the diabetes, they had the high blood pressure, they had the kidney issues. And so it was a lot more expensive for the insurance company to maintain those disease issues. So these bariatric doctors convinced the insurance industry that it would be more beneficial for them to pay for the bariatric surgery than to continue paying for these patients' treatments. And so the insurance company started paying at that time, that was years ago, $30,000 is what it used to cost then. And yeah, folks would do the bariatric surgery. The doctor would explain all the litany of health risks that come with surgery, because some of them died on the table. Whenever you're having surgery, especially such a big surgery, any surgery that has anything to do with the abdomen, for example, you're at a high risk for developing blood clots that break off and go to your lungs. Whenever you are having any kind of a surgery, period, you have to get anesthesia, and the anesthesiologist will explain to you the risk with going under anesthesia. You could die, and many of them died. In fact, I remember one particular lady. She was probably about 600 pounds, young woman. She was in her 40s. She was an attorney, and she came in, and they always have them watch these videos with the risk and all of that, and what they need to do before, what to expect during surgery, and what they need to do after surgery, and what to expect. And they have them watch it, and then they have them sign that they're in agreement. Well, the lady did the surgery, and the surgery went well. And one of the things that you cannot do is that you cannot have steak cubes, because the little pouch that they make when they make your stomach smaller cannot accommodate a cube of steak. And that's one of the things that they tell you, cannot have cube steak. Well, lo and behold, the lady went home and she proceeded to have a cube steak. And this cube of steak got lodged in the pouch. They call it a pouch. They don't even call it a stomach anymore. It's so small. They say like the size of your thumb when they do the bariatric surgery. It got lodged in there. She came back to the hospital. And the long and short of it is that she died. They just couldn't do anything, and she code blue and died. They sued. The family sued. The hospital paid $1 million. And the doctors, I think, insurance paid $1 million. But what's $2 million if your loved one is gone?
Right.
Another story I want to tell you is in the latter part of before I left the hospital setting, one of the bariatric surgeon would put all of his patients, and he got patients from all over, and that was Florida, patients from California, New York, and all that, to do the bariatric surgery. And one of the things he would do is put these patients, these people, on a liquid fast for 1 month before they do the surgery. And that's just something you have to agree to. Liquid fast is like coffee without sugar, sugar-free juices like sugar-free apple juice, can be anything bright colored, sugar-free apple juice, water, broth for 1 month. And Eric, I kid you not, whenever the patients came in, they were 14 pounds or more lighter. And yet they still agreed to go and have a surgical procedure that is so risky that you could lose your life, you could develop infection, you could develop deep vein thrombosis, and many of them go home and they go back to eating what they normally eat. And that little stomach stretch big again. And you put back all the weight that you lost. Well, I say, why not just start by making some simple changes to your diet. Not starving yourself. That's what this book is about. Just start by making some simple choices, changes to your diet, a little bit at a time, a little bit, change. As you start eating healthier, you will find that you will lose the weight. And as you incorporate some exercise, you don't have to kill yourself at the gym. As you incorporate some exercise like walking, for example, and you work on cutting out the night eating, you will lose the weight. You will not have the risk of dying. You will not have the negative side effects of these diet pills. And now they're giving they're giving weight loss injection, my sister told me. There's one, I wrote down the name. Oh my goodness, I wrote it down somewhere.
Are those risky, or is that like something that's like normal to do?
Oh no, weight loss pills have a lot of negative side effects. For example, they speed up your heart, and you have rapid heart rate, you have high blood pressure, and you could potentially have irregular heartbeat that could kill you. So weight loss pills are dangerous, and they're also expensive, because I know of folks who take them or have taken them trying to continue eating the same way and take the weight loss pills. And they're like $10 a day. So they're not cheap, right? And the weight loss injection, just today I heard of a couple of people that I am familiar with that did the weight loss injection. It's a diabetic medicine that some doctors are selling it, that you inject it into your tummy and it suppresses the appetite, but you can't be on it long term. It has a lot of negative side effects like dizziness, lightheadedness, and your blood sugar could bottom out. You go into hypoglycemia, and you're not on it long term. It's like 17 weeks or 18 weeks of this injection where it suppresses your appetite. Now, what happens when you stop taking that weight loss injection, or that weight loss injection? When you stop taking it, you start eating again, and you put back all the weight that you lost and then some. Just, it might take a person a year or 2 years to figure out a healthy way to lose the weight, a sustainable weight loss plan, because it didn't take us a year to put 50 pounds on our body. It's not going to take 1 year to lose it. It's not going to take 6 months or 3 months. But why not just start gradually changing the way we eat, increasing, getting a little bit more activity, a little more exercise, try to cut back on the eating at night and stuff like that. And you'll start losing the weight. And when you lose the weight that way, you will keep it off for good. Because it is so crucial to lose weight, because heart disease, not cancer. Heart disease is the number one cause of death and disability, not just in the United States, but globally. Your podcast is global. Globally, heart disease is the number one cause of death, early death, premature death, and disability. And the cause of that is the food that we put in our
Yeah, absolutely. So when was this book published? Is it did you just publish this book recently?
Yes, this book was published the day before Christmas. No, Christmas was the 25th. The 23rd of December 2022 is when I published this book, Lose Weight and Keep It Off for Good, Understanding in the Weight Loss Game. You see how fine I look at 60? Yes, and yeah, that's when it was published. It's available for purchase, and all my other books are available for purchase on Amazon and also my website, rnmarvariley.com. My other books have been picked up by Walmart, Target, Barnes and Noble, and they're also available in the Georgia public library system. I live in Georgia, so the Pines Library, the public library system, has my books. And in fact, anybody who wants to get my books can go to any library in the United States and request it. Because the thing is that if the library doesn't have it and the library member requests it, the library will get it. And you can borrow it without having to pay. Although they're really cheap, they're only $9.99 for the paperback and $4.99 for the electronic version. And I say that's pennies to spend to learn how you can take better care of yourself so you can reverse health issues or prevent health issues. I have been able to lose the weight and keep it off for good for several years. So I know I'm not talking about what I heard about. It is what I live. Whatever I teach, whatever you see me talking about on social media is what I live every single day. And I know it works.
So I know you was talking about in the beginning, like your previous health issues when you was younger and things like that. So and I know that you had similar things that that inspired you to write your previous book. So would you say the health issues you had when you weighed heavier and things like that inspired you to put this book out recently, or was it something that's just been heavy on your mind lately?
Well, health and wellness is always heavy on my mind because having worked in the hospital system for over 22 years and having worked in critical care where I cared for the sickest patients, and having seen that the healthcare industry has failed the public, has failed us, having seen that they push drugs and they don't deal with the underlying cause and issues that lead to early death or the illnesses that people have. Having come to realize that drugs are Band-Aid, they're not intended to heal and cure us. They slap a Band-Aid on a bleeding wound. Having come to realize that people really do not understand how to eat properly, and people do not really understand how to heal themselves, how to make themselves well, how to take care of themselves. And that's a driving force behind these books that I have written. And I live in Georgia, and morbid obesity is a crisis here. I go to South Carolina, I go to North Carolina, I go to India, and I go to these places, Florida, wherever. And morbid obesity is a major issue. In fact, recently I was talking to a physician, and he told me that 90% of his patients, and he sees children, young adults, older and middle. He says 90% of his patients are overweight and obese to the point where they can barely walk, that they have high blood pressure, they have diabetes, they have high cholesterol. These are children that can't play because they're morbidly obese. They can hardly walk because of what mama is feeding them. Mama doesn't know better because mama grew up with her grandmother eating the unhealthy foods. Her grandma didn't know any better. And then mama followed suit, and now we're feeding our kids with ramen noodle and McDonald's fries and hot dogs and sodas and things like that. And our little kids are becoming diabetics because they're overweight and obese and they're not being fed properly. I want to educate people on what eating healthily looks like. I want to let them know, okay, so you don't want to give up the burger completely, but how about if you start having some vegetables every day? How about if you start eating fruits, a couple apples or some berries instead of the donut? How about you exchange the bacon and the sausage in the mornings for maybe some oatmeal or an omelet with some spinach or something like that? How about you try to unlearn that unhealthy way? Because you know what? Your mama died of a stroke or had a stroke or is in a hospital or in a nursing home at the age of 50, but you don't have to be that way. You want to be able to continue living a vibrant, healthy life, no matter what age you are. My dad is 91. I don't know if you saw my post when I was in Jamaica. My dad is 91 years old and has no health issues. He does his farming in his backyard. He's stooping, he's bending, he's cleaning, he's washing clothes by hands. My mom's 85. We just had a big party for her. No health issues, in her right mind. Alzheimer's, by the way, and dementia is being called the third diabetes. Directly linked to eating too much sugary foods, drinking too much sugary drinks, to overweight, obesity, and poor lifestyle. But people don't know these things, you see. So my goal is to bring awareness to that, to show people how they can start implementing some changes, to show people that they can actually grow older, healthy, and being 40 and 50 is not old, because that's a common thought among many people, especially in the South, that you're 40 and 50-year-old. You're just ready to live your life.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think this book will help a lot of people, because it affects everybody. It's not like you're just talking about, like, you putting a book out on sports or on something just directed at a certain target audience. Everybody has to keep track of their weight and the things that they put in their body. So whether they want to do it now, 5 years from now, or wherever that time may be, they're gonna have to address it, or the doctor gonna address it when they get a checkup, when they get a little bad news, like, hey, you need to start doing this. You know what I'm saying? This ain't looking too good, so.
Absolutely. If the thing is that, all these folks that you interview for whatever genre, whatever topic or whatever, when folks hear it, they might not respond to what your guest is saying right away, but it'll register. And hopefully in a year, 6 months, a month, 12 years, however long, somebody will say, you know what? I heard Marva Riley on Eric's podcast, and she said, I need to start taking care of myself by changing the way I eat, by incorporating some exercise in my routine every day, getting up from that desk, for example, and walk, by cutting out the night eating, by making sleep a priority. That's one of the main issues, especially with young people. They're up at night on their video game or watching TV, and one of my followers said her husband will have a huge family pack of Cheetos or Doritos, whatever, and by the time he realizes, he would have finished 2 bags of it watching TV. So, so the thing is that if I can bring awareness of that and let people realize that, hey, maybe you could select some healthier snacks, for example, that might help you, or swap out the soda for some water, or water with lemon or something like that. Then maybe the health issues that you're having, because you will have health issues. It's not a matter if you will have health issues if you continue to eat poorly, eat junk, eat unhealthy food, eat fast food. You will have health issues. It's just a matter of when. If I can bring awareness to the fact that you can start making some changes now, what a perfect time to make those changes. It's new year, new resolutions, new goals, new mission. You can start now and then gradually make the steps, and Just stick it out, because it gets more difficult come say April or so. A lot of people fall off the bandwagon. It gets more difficult. Okay. But as you know, Eric, you started your podcast from nothing. You worked diligently and hard to get to where you are now. So anything that is worth having, and really without our help, we have nothing. Because even if we have $10 million in the bank, if we don't have our health, we have nothing. Our mental health, our emotional health, our physical health is important. We know of many wealthy people, young, medium, old, who have mental health issues. They commit suicide either by putting a gun to their head, or they commit suicide every day by eating poor, unhealthy foods that are slowly killing them. But you got to put the work in. Nobody, even if you get a bariatric surgery done, you're going to have to put the work in, because once you start eating poorly, you're going to put the weight back on and you're going to have the same health issues or worse. Or if you do these injections and you lose the weight rapidly, it's unsustainable. And you just have to just have to be willing to, the thing is that your health has got to be so important to you that you're willing to change the way you think, your mindset, and get started and stick with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so this book is the 3rd of January. It's a new year. So I know it's only been 10 or 11 days, but just describe some of the feedback have you gotten so far since you put the book out.
The main feedback I've been hearing from people is they have been waiting for so long for this book, because many people are frustrated. They're very frustrated because year after year, they get on the weight loss bandwagon. They set these weight loss goals and resolutions, and come March or April, they just become frustrated and they give up because they're not getting the results that the media tells them they will get. The media whips you up and tells you you're going to lose 30 pounds in 3 months and that kind of a thing. But what they fail to tell you is that you're going to have to drink a can of shake for breakfast, a can of shake for lunch, and a can of shake for dinner. And how long can you do that? Think about it. How long can you do that? Yes, you will lose 30 pounds in 30 days if you do that, but that's unsustainable. And the people that I'm hearing from are saying, we've gone down that road before, where we've lost the weight, we put it back on. We've lost the weight, we put it back on. We're frustrated, and we see, folks are saying to me, we see you out there. We see that what you've written in this book, you live. So it's got to be that you know what it is you're talking about. You're not just an advertiser saying, take this pill and take this pill. They see me living it. And so they're excited. Many people have said they've ordered the books. It's a little early for me to see Amazon reviews because people are reading the books or waiting to get the book to read. But a lot of people have said that they have ordered the book. Many of them that have said that had already bought my first 2 books. So they know what I'm offering, because even though this book, Lose Weight and Keeping It Off for Good, is about weight loss, because this year I, Marva Riley, am laser focused on helping people to lose the weight and keeping it off for good, and to achieve and maintain their ideal weight. That's my laser focus this year. But the bottom line is that my goal is to help people to get well, to get healthy, and to stay healthy. Because if you eat healthy and you exercise and you make sleep a priority and you drink some water instead of all that coffee and all that juice and stuff like that, You're going to lose the weight. And when you lose the weight, you're going to get off the blood pressure pills. You're going to get off the diabetes pills. You're going to feel better. You're going to look better. Because overweight and obesity is also linked to depression, anxiety, and sleep problems, which is a major issue in this country and around the world.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just to go more in detail, what you said, you know, people reading your books and seeing you being a walking example and seeing you on social media, you know, on your everyday life and things like that. I I probably off the top of my head, I could think of two people that I know personally, like in my family, but uh I would have to say like you probably the only person that I know around your age, you know, that's living that type of lifestyle and being inspiration to people either your age or younger or older as far as you know getting up and putting out the videos of you taking light jogs or showing you know everything you eat throughout the day and things like that. So I think that plays a major part in keeping people positive that that is going to purchase the book in the future or whoever approaches your books in the past that relates to similar things.
Yes. I've had so many feedbacks about my first two books, folks that had serious health issues. I'll give you an example. My sister and her husband. My sister has struggled with obesity for many years. She's one short little one. She's like 4'9" and really big for years. And she would try the shakes and the pills and all of that over the years, get frustrated. I remember like 3 years ago, she had hired a personal trainer and she lost a ton of weight and was like a size 2. But then he had her eating like stuff the size of her palm. Who is going to be able to live on that sustainably? And she put the weight back on and was very frustrated and just gave up. Now, I kept telling her, that's not a healthy way to go about it. And I would make some suggestions, not push, just some suggestions. And she started making the changes and she would start looking up healthy diet and she would start doing some walking. And then she hired a personal trainer to help her with the exercise part of it. She's lost a lot of weight and she's kept it off for 2 years. Mm. Her husband was recently had a scare. Okay, his PSA was high. And they did a biopsy and they saw something there that looked like it might, more than likely, was cancer. They were very worried. So he decided, I encouraged him to clean up his diet because he was at Dunkin' Donuts buying that sugary stuff every single morning, mixing coffee with his sugar. Plus Dunkin' Donuts and all that junk eating every day and start having a belly and stuff like that. I encourage him to clean up his diet, eat mostly vegetables and fruits and do some green juice and drink water instead of coffee and water instead of sodas and things like that. And Eric, when he went back for a more probing biopsy of his prostate 3 months after that, they saw nothing. Mm. So, you know, if you start influencing people from your home, that's important. And then you will flesh out and influence people in your immediate community and bigger and bigger and bigger community. I know that I influence young people, middle and older people, because there are many young people that have reached out to me on YouTube, for example. Some of them I don't even respond because they're asking me direct questions and I can't, I'm not a doctor. I'm not going to say to you, no, you should not drink fruit juice or something like that. And then they'll hunt me down on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook to follow me and ask questions and stuff. Young people that have H. pylori, for example, there's a very popular common digestive condition that a lot of young people are having because of the poor eating and also lack of sleep and the stress. Okay. So young people are reaching out to me, middle-aged people and older people are reaching out to me and are following me. And I know that I am influencing them by encouraging them, inspiring them, motivating them, bringing awareness to health and healing, and showing people how they can incorporate a holistic lifestyle, not only to reverse the health issues that they have, but to prevent it. And one is never too young to start exercising, to start eating a little bit more vegetables, some fruits, cut back on the sugar. You're never too young, because they say cancer cells are in our bodies from birth. That's what the research is showing, that we have cancer cells from birth, but we feed it based on on our lifestyle. And we know that cancer loves sugar. So if we keep putting that sugar in our bodies, we are encouraging these abnormal cells to grow in our body. So maybe instead of putting 10 packs of sugar in your coffee, you could cut back to 5 or 2, little things like that.
Absolutely. So for anybody, on Amazon, walking in random libraries around the country, and they just stumble across, Marva Riley weight loss book. Just in your own words, anybody that never read any of your books or never heard of you before, just give any final remarks on what you want people to know about, the type of book this is and books that you put out, you know what I'm saying, and what you want them to get from these type of books when they purchase these books, what you want them to leave with and things like that.
Okay. I'd like to read the back of this, my newest book, for your listeners. And this is Lose Weight and Keeping It Off for Good, Understanding the Weight Loss Game by Marva Riley. Are you frustrated as you try to lose that excess weight? Do you feel disappointed as you regain the weight you lost and then some? Yo-yo diets do not work. Diet pills come with negative side effects and are unsustainable. No more drinking shakes. No need to spend hours at the gym every day. No more starving yourself. Eat, be satisfied, lose the weight, and keep it off for good. It's that simple. This book is a simple, doable guide to help you to lose those excess pounds and keep them off for good. I call it sustainable weight loss. No gimmicks, just common sense steps that have been tried and proven over the years. I wanted to write a book that's easy to read, simple to understand, showing you that sustainable weight loss is achievable. I have done it, and so can you. My goal is I could say my life's purpose is to encourage, inspire, motivate, teach, and educate, and to point folks in the right direction to become and remain the healthiest version of themselves. That's my life mission. My name is Marva Riley. I can be reached I have a YouTube channel. I have over 1,000.
Hold on. Before we get that, so
okay.
I wanted to, before we wrap it up, I wanted to get into what you got coming up? You got anything else going on right now as far as the near future, and what you got going on later on in 2023 as far as like, future books or, anything that you got going on?
I actually started writing two books that are indirectly linked to health and wellness, although almost everything is linked to health and wellness, because frankly speaking, if you're struggling for money, for example, if you're broke and you're struggling for money, you're not going to be able to buy healthy foods. You're not going to be able to, say, pay for the gym, and you're going to be stressed out, and you're not going to be able to sleep at night if you're broke. So money is linked to health. I started writing a book related to financial independence. I don't know if I'm going to publish it in 2023. I also started writing a book on life after divorce. Okay. Because I got divorced after.
I would like that book because I got so
Yes, that's the one. I think I probably will publish that one in 2023, because you know what? I want to show folks that you can not only survive after a divorce, but you can thrive and soar after a divorce. Divorce is not the end. It wasn't for me. It hasn't been for many people, and it does not have to be for the folks that will read that book. So I think that's the one I'm going to publish at the end of the year.
Yeah, that would be dope. Again, all your projects is based to people that's going. Hopefully, they don't have to go through a divorce, but it's a part of everybody that takes the route of getting married. You have to think of a possibility that y'all could split. So even though it ain't, you don't want to think like that, but you got to be realistic. So a lot of people don't came across that in their lives. I experienced it personally like 2.5 years ago, so I know firsthand how stressful that could be, and all the difficulties that goes into going through that whole legal process.
Yes, and you lose everything.
Right.
A lot of times you lose everything financially. A lot of times you lose a lot of your friends or all your friends, because a lot of the friends were connected to the couple. And folks kind of don't want to bother with you when you're no longer a couple. If you have children, the children are in the midst. It's a lot of stuff. And divorce destroys a lot of people. Many people can never come back after divorce, or it's extremely difficult. But you can actually survive and thrive. I have, and I want to put that in a book. And I actually came to me just before I published this weight loss book, and I said, I need to start writing. It's going to take a little bit more creativity, because I think I would like to put it in like a novel kind of which I haven't done, but we'll see how it comes out.
Do you think you will have that out by the summertime, or would it be later on in the fall or wintertime?
I think it'll be later on, because the thing is that if I had time to just sit and write books, then I probably could kick it out by the summer, but it probably will be towards the end of the year, because I have a business that I run, which takes up quite a bit of my time also. And as you well know, being on social media takes a bit of time also. And I have a family, I have some grandchildren that I'm spending time with. So, it probably more than likely it'll be towards the end of the year, but I'll be sure to let you know when that happens.
Absolutely. So any final remarks that you want to say about the book you just published, and things like that, and let people know how to find you on social media?
Okay. But my final remark is that this book Lose Weight and Keep It Off for Good was written for you, to help you to lose the weight and keep it off for good. No more yo-yo dieting. The statistics show that 80% of people who make New Year's weight loss resolutions by February, the end of February to March, they give up out of frustration. That's where my book comes in. It's a step-by-step guide to help you. It'll be a companion for you to keep on your bedside or your kitchen table, to help you, that you can refer back to help you to systematically and healthily lose the weight and keep it off for good without having to take pills or injection or starve yourself. You can actually eat and feel full and satisfied. And my books, all of my books, the first one is Eat, Sleep, Meditate, A Nurse's Guide to Health. Share recipe book, simple, healthy, easy, inexpensive recipes. And this new book are available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target, Walmart. But Amazon is my main distributor. And they're only $9.99 for the paperback and $4.99 for the ebook. Peanuts to spend on your health. I am on all social media platforms. My name is Marva Riley, Riley. I'm on YouTube. I don't have as many subscribers as Eric. I have a little bit over 1,000. I'm on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I have a Facebook group. It's a health and wellness group, a support group, and it's called The Doctor in You. Anyone can send me a request and I'll gladly accept them in that group. I'm on LinkedIn, TikTok, and Twitter. And also I have a free monthly health and wellness newsletter that your listeners can sign up for on my website, rnmarvariley.com. I also post a ton of recipes and tips to help you to get healthy and stay healthy on my website. Visit my website. I have a beautiful website. It's called rnmarvariley.com.
No, absolutely. I've been interviewing a lot of artists and business people and things like that, but this is the first time I'll ask the author this question because I just came up with this question. So, you know what a Mount Rushmore is, right?
Mount Rushmore. Tell
Yes.
me about it.
So basically, like when you talk sports and things like that, they it's like a top five, like the best players of all time, like football, basketball. They'd be like, "Yo, who's your Mount Rushmore?" You know.
Okay.
So as far as in your case, and authors, the authors that's resonate with you the most, and all the books that you've read over your life, who's your top five authors that you put up there as far as like being some of the best authors of all time?
My top five.
Yeah.
I would say Maya Angelou is my number one. Dr. Mark Furman is number two. I also like Dr. Mark Hyman, number three. Gary Zukav, I like very much. That's what, number four. And that guy who wrote Think and Grow Rich. Trying to remember, Think and Grow Rich. I like the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't remember the name of that author. And I love The Secret, the book The Secret. Those are, I don't remember the names of the authors, but those are five of my top five books and authors. Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. I know a lot of people, as time go by, when they start purchase the book and things like that, pretty sure you'll get more testimonies and people reach out to you, letting them know how the book been a positive impact on their life and how I helped them, go down that health and wellness journey. And I know for you, writing books, even though you're kind of a veteran and doing it now, but I know it kind of sometimes it because it's with me and being in the podcast thing, it sometimes it takes me back to the beginning when I first started, when people hit you out of the blue and tell you, hey, how this impacted them. Because when you writing something or you putting something together, no matter how long you've been doing it, you don't know, how many people it's going to impact. You just doing what you're good at, putting something together and hope it touches at least one person or a couple people. But once you get the random people you don't know personally reaching out saying, hey, this really changed my life and or saved my life, or this podcast really helped me with something I was going through or whatever, I know that has to be a warm feeling when you get those type of testimonies and things like that. Cause I've been having that happen to me lately, as far as people just randomly reaching out to me and things like that.
Yeah. It's amazing that you said that, Eric, because I think it was on New Year's Eve. I was going through my phone, and I usually do not respond to any messages or messengers on Facebook that I'm not friends with, because they say if you respond to the message, they can call you, whatever. So I usually don't respond, because sometimes they're not appropriate messages. But somehow I went to look at 5 messages that I just saw them, and I saw that, maybe because I saw that they were women, I felt safe to open it. And I kid you not, these people were not friends, my Facebook friends, but one of them had been written since May, and I had not read it. And the woman said that she saw me on some post showing how I do stretches for my back and my sciatica that was bothering me, and encouraging people to do toe touches to stretch their lower back. And the woman said, I'm going to paraphrase, she said, you suggested that. I've been doing Tai Chi, and I've been stretching my back, and I've been holding on to my kitchen counter and do some squats. And now I have no more lower back pain and no more sciatica pain.
Wow.
That was me. I didn't know. It made me feel so good. There's another lady in a group that has like 5,000 people. I'm in a few Facebook groups, any group that I can post my healthy foods and my fitness and stuff like that without, any issues. It's over 5,000 group members in that group. It looks, I think it's like Jamaicans all over the world are in that group. And one lady had reached out to me a couple months ago. I didn't open it because we're not friends. And she said, thank you for a video that you posted about suicide, because years ago when I was going through divorce, I actually contemplated suicide. I was very depressed. I couldn't sleep. That was a time when I was very sick, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And I contemplated suicide. So I did a video because my sister-in-law's, my husband's sister's neighbor had lost his 2 daughters to a motor vehicle accident. And then shortly after that, he was diagnosed with cancer, terminal cancer. And he was in a lot of pain. And he walked to the parking lot in front of his house and put the gun to his head and killed himself. And I felt compelled to do a video about depression and about suicide, and for folks to reach out for help, don't harm yourself, and whatever else I said in that video. Well, that woman told me in that message that she sent to me via Facebook Messenger that she saw my video. At that time, she was going to kill herself. She said, I was going to kill myself, and I saw your video and changed my mind. And I've gotten several messages like that on my YouTube channel, where people will message me and say, I had H. pylori. I watched your video to say I should take apple cider vinegar and whatever, and it helped me and things like that. Or you posted something about what helped your granddaughter with her gastric reflux and her gripes, and I use it for my baby and it helped and things like that. Those are the reasons why I continue to do what I do. I want to be able to sell 1 million copies of each of my books. But the main reason why I write these books is not the money. It isn't. It is to help people out there who don't have a nurse who has a voice, who can tell you that if you're constipated and you drink warm water and you eat an apple, it's fiber and that will help with your constipation. It's when I hear people give me these, like you said, these reports, and these testimonials, that's what drives me to do what I do. People think that you're doing your podcast or I'm on social media because I make a ton of money. One lady asked me that. No, I'm there because I have a burning desire, a burning passion, a life purpose to point people in the direction to become healthy and to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Because the health industry isn't telling people that, Eric, they want you on those drugs because big pharma makes billions of dollars every year of diabetes drugs and high blood pressure drugs and cholesterol drugs and kidney drugs and blah, blah, blah kind of drugs that people take. Big pharma and the medical industry. So they ain't gonna tell you that what you need to do is eat apple and eat oatmeal and drink water. No, they want you sick. That's my opinion. Okay, they want you sick because think about it, if you're healthy, how are they gonna make money with the drugs? And the thing is that the food and drug industries are in bed with each other. So the food industry, because the FDA, the food and drug industry in bed together, the FDA working together, the unhealthy food making people sick, and the pharmaceutical companies come in and say, oh, we have a drug for that blood pressure, we have a drug for that diabetes. You can continue to eat the way you normally eat and take a drug. But those drugs have a lot of negative side effects. Some of them side effects of cancer, side effects of kidney failure, side effects of liver failure, all kind of side effects, bad side effects.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, just a little word of advice. Check your message request box at least once or twice a week.
Yes.
You'll be surprised. There'll be a lot of not just testimonials, but opportunities, because all opportunities might not come from people that you're friends with. So people might write you and they might not be friends with you, but it's gonna go to that request box and they'll be sitting there. So but it won't come to your regular inbox. So that's on Instagram too, because that's how I get most of my podcast guests, because a lot of people don't even be following me. So I have to keep checking that box.
Oh, and I never did. I mean, if I didn't know okay, I definitely will follow your advice because clearly you're a success and a pro. I respect you highly for what you do. So I will definitely take your advice by checking my inbox at least every 2 days and just see what the messenger is saying and then address it accordingly. Thank you for that advice.
Yeah, because you never know how far your books stretch. You might have somebody that might try to collab with you or do a sponsorship or anything like that. You never know. So
that is absolutely true. I can't assume that they're all just trying to market me. You're right, Eric. Thank you for that advice. I will do it.
But yeah, I appreciate you coming on the podcast. Anytime you want to come on, you come on anytime. And Be on the lookout for all future books from Marva Riley. Puts out a lot of dope books, and everybody need to go get this book because it pertains to everybody. You know,
Yes.
everybody weight fluctuates. Whether you might be 190 right now, but you can be 250 a couple months from now. So you never know. So you know you might need to read the book even if you're in shape now, just to learn how to stay in shape, you know, to
Yeah.
maintain your weight. So it ain't just for people that's just all the way out of shape or just a little out of shape. You know, if you're
Yeah.
already at a decent weight, you know, learn things to uh, keep you at a decent weight and to clean your diet up. Because just because you're at a decent weight, don't mean you're healthy.
True. Yeah. And a lot of people probably have a friend or friends or family members that can benefit from these health books also. Just give them as a gift. It's only $9.99. Give them as a gift. Give the gift of health to your friends and your family.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I appreciate all my supporters. We're at 3,000 subscribers on YouTube now, and also I need everybody to go check out my little flip interview. That's my biggest interview, platinum selling artist, little flip. I dropped that. It's already out. Um, and go check out my other two interviews with Shawty Low Jr. and Derez Deshawn. They all platinum selling artists and real dope people, you know, real down to earth. And be on the lookout for all future content and all future things that Marva puts out, and keep up with social media and keep being inspired by all the good looking food and good looking food and exercise that you put out every morning on her Instagram and things like that.
Thanks for having me, Eric. It's always such a delight.
All right, no problem. You have a good night.
You too. Thanks so much.
All right.